Okay, in this video we're going to take it a next step up with that amigurumi. So if you made the magic ring with us in the last video, you can hang on to it. If you haven't said it yet, I'm going to undo this and we're going to do it together. Okay, so most amigurumi will start with a magic ring, and often they start with 6 single crochets. Okay, so we're going to do that together. So make sure you make that X here around your fingers. And then instead of tucking it through like you do with your slip knot, you're just going to leave it as is. Hold that X between your thumb and your middle finger. Your crochet hook comes through here. You're going to grab this tail from the back, pull it through. You're going to go ahead and do 1 single crochet, so you loop it around, pull it through, and one more time for good measure, loop it around and pull it through. Now you're going to go through the center ring here, right? So inside, loop it around, pull it through, loop it around, pull it through. Again, inside, loop it around, pull it through, loop it around, pull it through. Again, inside, loop it around, pull it through, loop it around, pull it through. Inside, loop it around, pull it through, loop it around, pull it through. Make sure you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inside, loop it around, pull it through, loop it around, pull it through. And last one, inside, loop it around, pull it through, and loop it around, pull it through. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 single crochets. Grab that tail here and pull it nice and tight. Okay, so when you are growing amigurumi, we're going to start making a ball together. So in order to keep going, you have to increase. Okay, so depending on the pattern that you are looking at, it will either say increase or it will say 2 single crochet in 1 spot, right? So it's the same thing. What you're going to do is find that first stitch. You're going to tuck that crochet hook through both of those loops, right? So make sure it's through the entire stitch. Okay, and remember, if you're finding some trouble here, that your stitches are too tight, go back and loosen them up, okay? They don't have to be like a fortress, okay? But they also don't need to be very loose. So they need to be somewhere in that happy medium space. Okay, so you've got your crochet hook stuck through here. You're going to loop your yarn around, pull it through, and then loop it around, pull it through again. Now, when you say increase, you're going to do 2 stitches in the same stitch, okay? So you've just done 1 stitch here, we're going to do a 2nd stitch there. Okay, so stick it back through that same hole, loop it around, pull it through, loop it around, pull it through. So some people really like to mark the beginning of a row with a marker of some kind. If you got a really fancy crochet set, it probably came with some of those markers, but you can use anything like another piece of yarn or a safety pin to kind of mark where the beginning of the row is. For me, I just like to count in my head. It's harder for me to keep track of those things because depending on where I put the stitch marker, it can throw me off. So it's up to you how you want to do that. Okay, we're going to increase in each of the stitches around this circle. So if we had 6 stitches to begin with, we're going to ultimately wind up with 12. So we're going to move on to the next stitch now. We're doing 2 single crochets in this stitch. So loop it around, pull it through, loop it around, pull it through, and one more time in that same stitch, inside, loop it around, pull it through, loop it around, pull it through. Great. Okay, again, next stitch now. Okay, inside, loop it around, pull it through, loop it around, pull it through, a 2nd stitch in that stitch, inside, loop it around, pull it through, loop it around, pull it through. Okay, the next one, inside, loop it around, pull it through, loop it around, pull it through, again, inside, loop it around, pull it through, loop it around, pull it through. Keep going. Next stitch, inside, loop it around, pull it through, loop it around, pull it through, inside, loop it around, pull it through, loop it around, pull it through. Again, inside, loop it around, pull it through, loop it around, pull it through, and again, inside, loop it around, pull it through, loop it around, pull it through. Now, this is where counting is very important. So if you put a marker in, you know where the beginning of your row is. If you did not, like me, then we need to make sure that we count. So again, we're going for 12 stitches here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so that is our 2nd row. We've increased in every stitch around. Now, as you keep going with circles and with a globe or a ball shape, generally the next row you're going to increase and then have a single. So we're going to increase third again, or half again as much, right? So we had 6 in the first row, 12 in the next row. And then this next row we're building, we're going to have 18. So that means we're going to do 2 stitches in this first stitch. Ready? 1 and 2. And remember, if you're using a stitch marker, make sure that you move it up to that next row. Okay, so that's increase there, and then we just have 1 single crochet in the next stitch. Then in the next one we have 2, 1 and 2, then a single, 1, then double, 1, 2, and then a single, and then a double, 1, 2, and then a single, and then a double, 1, 2, and then a single. And let's go and count. So if you've got a stitch marker, again, you know where your rows are, but if you don't, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So that means we're going to do another double. 1, 2, and another single. Okay,